Hello Internet, welcome to an all new video on a car that I bought one night after helping out at church on eBay. This car came up on eBay, and this is a really rare car. When I bought it, I didn't really appreciate how rare it is. What it is a Talbot Samba, but it's not just any Talbot Samba. It's a GLS. Being a GLS, it has the 1360 cc's engine, which is a good bit more powerful. Electric windows and all sorts of things that the standard Samba didn't have. When I was young, probably my third car, was a Talbot Samba. I had a Skoda Super Style 120 LSE, and if there's one of them about now, I would really like it. At the time it was a complete joke of a car, but going back to 1983, for a car to come with a rev counter, a spoiler front and back, a radio cassette recorder, alloy wheels all round, and Grand Prix S tyres. I just thought the Skoda it looked the part. And when I look back at it now and look at pictures of it now, it was like a burnt orange colour with a black vinyl roof. And if you had one now, I still think they're cool. But I really wanted something. I lent that car to an uncle of mine. He wrote it off. He went round a corner too fast and went through a hedge and rolled it. So the deal was that he fixed that car up and released me to go and buy a new car. So I thought to myself, what do I want to buy? And I suppose there were all sorts of options out there. It was an imported car. I live in Northern Ireland, and if you got a car from the Republic of Ireland, there was some sort of a break that you got financially, and it just didn't cost as much. An imported car was cheaper. And I think there was like a Fiat and maybe a Metro or a Citroen Visa or something like that. All the good cars on their own. But I was also given an option to have imported out of Monaghan, which is just over the border in County Armagh, a Talbot Samba. And I thought to myself, Talbot? Like, Talbot has a little bit of rally history. Didn't a Talbot Lotus Sunbeam beat Michel Mouton to the world title? I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think they definitely won the RSE rally. A Talbot. I can remember a local rally driver from Guildford, Kevin Doyle, and he done the Circuit of Ireland in Talbots, particularly Avengers. And then I heard the gripping story. I didn't know anybody ever had one. I didn't even know if one existed. It's easy to find out now by just going into the internet if one existed, of a Tiger Avenger. And it sounded amazing. And there were all sorts of rumours about how good a Tiger Avenger was. So for me, Talbot seemed to be the one to go for. And I bought a Talbot Samba. Everyone was having a laugh at me for driving the Skoda. In Northern Ireland, one of the favourite breads with the fry is called a Skoda. Not a Skoda, a soda farl. A soda farl, which is fried with bacon and eggs and beans and mushrooms and all sorts of stuff for what is called an Ulster fry. And anybody's seen me come and say, oh, here he is in the Skoda farl. There's all sorts of jokes about, well, what's the rear window heater for? It's for warming your hands when you're pushing it. But mine was reliable in the short time that I had it. But to get a Samba, mine was not a GLS now. It was a 1.1 L or GL or something. I think it was a GL. But I had a job at this time working in a factory in Craigavon. And one of the things about this factory was all the young lads we were building forklifts, Heister forklifts, and all the young lads had their own preference in what was the car to have. I mean, some of them had minis. One of them had a Mark II Escort, and one of them had a Renault 5 Le Car. You know, when I look back, like, they all had different ideas, 1.1 Fiestas and stuff. And here I come in with a Talbot, and I thought, you know, I've got a Talbot here, and that's pretty cool, is it not? But little did I know, a Talbot Samba was not altogether a roots car. It was essentially a Peugeot car. Probably a predecessor to the Citroën AX or the Citroën Saxo or the Peugeot 106, even maybe the Peugeot 205. This was the predecessor to that. And they all made jokes about it being, you know, a French car, a load of rubbish. It's only a French Peugeot. And at that time, Peugeot didn't really have any rally history, but it wasn't long before they did. And indeed, after a short amount of time, the Samba carved out a real good reputation for particular classes of rallying. And I can remember the Mini men coming to me, who were all, the Mini's the car to have. And I'm not knocking a Mini. Mini was a great car in the early 80s. But they were knocking me, and then all of a sudden they come and say, these Sambas, you can nearly get as much, I remember one of them saying to me, you can nearly get as much rally stuff for a Samba as you can for a Mini, which was astounding to them. So anyway, from being the laughing stock, all of a sudden, my Samba wasn't such a laughing stock car after all. So just some more information on this Samba. It's been sitting here for a while. And I mean, it come up on eBay for, I think it was 2,200. And I just jumped at it because it was such low mileage, but it had a real big problem. And that real big problem was when I bought it, it came with no water in it. And the reason being, it had blown the head gasket, according to the man in Wales who owned it. And I didn't care because I felt that the worst case scenario is you put a new head gasket on it. But not only when I bought this did I buy this, it came with a spares car, which was a very rotten Talbot Samba convertible, which has the same engine in it as this car. And his idea was that he was going to take the engine out of the convertible one and put it into this one, but just never got round to it. But the thing about this engine is, although it's supposedly got a blown head gasket, the car is absolutely immaculate, and the mileage in it is 11,968, and that's a genuine mileage. As you can see, there's no window winders because it's got electric windows, and the seats and stuff are really, really clean. So what I want to do is, I want to work at this car and get it on the road. I mean, I put a sport badge on it and an S on it, which is just something I like to do. Well, it's a GLS. What's the S stand for? Sport? But anyway, this car is in so good condition. No water in it. And it has a manual choke conversion from what I can see. At a flat wheel there. So what I'm going to do is today I'm just going to spend some time, it's Easter Monday, just relaxing. Maybe getting the wheel repaired or blown up. That wheel was flat in the back. I bought these wheels off someone who's been a great help to me in relation to Talbot Sambas, William James. But the problem is, I bought them about 3 years ago and haven't actually paid him for them yet. And that's ridiculous, I know. But I just haven't seen him. And it's not that I haven't tried to pay him, it just doesn't seem to work out. But I'm going to get in touch with William and get him paid for the wheels of this car. And then I'm going to work at this Samba. And when I finished working at this Samba, I'm going to work at this one. This is another Talbot Samba GLS, which I've resprayed to this colour, and it looks a bit ropey, but it was covered in surface rust. Although underneath this car is absolutely solid, immaculate. And I didn't like the original colour, which is a metallic colour, but it was a sort of to me it didn't do anything for the car. So this car has had the head repaired on it. It didn't have a head gasket problem, but there's a little tube inside the head that had gone, and the frost plug that was gone, and it was losing water. This also is a really, really nice car. And it has good seats and good interior. Low miles as well, maybe 30,000. But one of the things I'm going to do with this car, with the help of the Talbot Samba guys on Facebook, is fit this manifold in it and change this carburetor. This car drives amazing for about 2 miles, then it stops and won't run again. I changed the fuel filter and the fuel pump. Hasn't really made any difference. It will run for a while and then stop. So this car's mileage is something like 30,000 or something, and I believe that's totally genuine as well. Again, it will clean up immaculate. And again, the mileage is low, 33,000. So my dream is to have these two Talbot Sambas running in the next couple of months and running well. CBs, stripes, polished up. I'm going to do these wheels up. I've thought about gold, but who knows. So that's the plan. Two Talbot Samba GLSs back on the road in the next couple of months. So that's 2 cars in 2 months. The good thing about these 2 cars is they're insured as classic cars. They no longer require an MOT test. They're MOT exempt and tax exempt. So that gives us a bit of flavour, something to look forward to. Because when you run around working on these cars, beautiful and all as it is, the problem with these cars is you still have to tax them. And if you've got a Fiat Quarterly, it adds up into a few pounds. But these cars are amazing. But so excited to get the Sambas going and running. So as I said before, one of the things I done with my Skoda Ford was I painted the wheels. I mean, they were alloy wheels and the tyres that were on them were Grand Prix S tyres. Now, I don't even know if Grand Prix S tyres were any good. I don't even know if you can still get Goodyear Grand Prix S tyres. But I know what they did do. They sounded good. I mean, at that time, we had in Northern Ireland a tremendous Formula 1 driver. He very nearly became world champion. I believe he drove for McLaren. His name was John Watson. And to have tyres that said Grand Prix S, I thought that was pretty cool. So I painted the Grand Prix S bit white on the tyres. And I thought it looked good. And on this particular Talbot Samba, I've got Yokohama, not any Yokohama, but Yokohama A-Drive. So what I'm going to do with the Yokohama A-Drive is I'm going to paint in the Yokohama A-Drive. And people may say, well, that's very, sort of cheapish looking, but you know what? This is an 80s car and this is an 80s deal here. I mean, just another thing where I got the stuff you painted on the tires to make the Grand Prix S white was a shop in Portadown, and all the kids who had cars used to go there, and it was called Drive Right. And I mean, if you wanted your traffic lights air freshener, which I haven't seen for years. I used to love the smell of those. Or your, you know, leopard skin seat covers, something like that. I mean, there was big rows. If you walk into a suit shop now, you buy a three-piece or a two-piece suit, and there are rows of them. Well, he had rows of uh, car seat covers. That was the whole deal. Then this was a whole new fad. Fairy dice and all sorts of stuff that was pretty much 80s and probably quite naff now. But this is a sort of a back to the future thing here. We're going back to the 80s in this Talbot Samba. What do we think? Not perfect. Still, I think it's cool. It's going to look good on the car. I mean, I might need to do the Yokohama bit on the left-hand side, but it's going to be cool. First thing we're going to do is we're going to clean this Samba. I'm reluctant to just wipe the dust off it, so I'll do my best to power wash it off it. And once that's done, I'll wash it a little bit with a sponge and dry it off before we bring it in for see what's wrong, see what the problem is. Maybe we'll find out we have no problem now that would be good. The thing is, how does the older Samba stack up against its younger siblings? So cool that. So 106 Rally open scandal. It's maybe not even called an open scandal. The more I think about it, it's just called a scandal. Talbot Samba GLS. Now, the only problem is, to get that Samba washed and put in that position, I had to push it on my own. So what I want to be doing with this car is drive it, but I made a big mistake there. I have not got a fuel cap to this car. I never did have for some reason. And I'm just after power washing it. So I need to make sure and drain the fuel system, which I intend to do anyway. But I hope you like our comparison video. So the first thing decided to do is lift this Samba up and see is it as good underneath as it is above. And I mean, above, this car is amazing. It's absolutely covered in wax oil, so it has tremendous protection. Don't see any corrosion in the inner guards. Somebody's jacked it there, probably me, and broken the wax oil thing. This car looks really, really good underneath as well. I mean, this is a tremendous shell. So underneath looks really good. Down the sills and right underneath the chassis looks really good. So is this car as good underneath as it is above? I would say so. I mean, when I bought this car, as I said before, the gentleman I bought it off sold it with another one, which was a soft top one that was very rotten, but apparently has a real good engine, as spares his repair. He had fixed a blown head gasket, and when he took it out on the road again, the fix didn't work. Now, whether he got that head pressure tested or not, I don't know. I mean, with a car with only like 11,000 miles on it, I'm very reluctant to just whip it out, the engine, and put a new engine on it. I have an engine I can put on it. But my word, the miles in this, I'm pretty sure, are absolutely true. Had blew a head gasket 11,000 miles, it's beyond me, but it did. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to drain any fuel that's in it, if any, because it's at least 4 or 5 years old now, and clean the fuel tank out. That's the first step. Interestingly, or maybe even ominously, this car does not have any Jubilee clips or anything on the rubber hoses that carry the fuel to and from the front. I mean, is that a return hose or what is it? It's awful high up. And it's so easy to take off. It's only sitting there. Nothing's coming out of that fuel tank so far. Sounds completely empty to me. So, oops, Scotties. The pipe for the fuel, I mean, it didn't even pull off, it just fell off. So someone's been in here. I'm working at that. And that is the fuel line to the front of the car for sure. This looks like original fuel line. There's a little bit of petrol in it. Smells fine, to be fair. But strangely, I would have thought that should have been metal, but it's not. So ashamedly, I know this car come with no water in the system whatsoever, but I cannot remember, did I even check to see is there any oil in the system? And I came here to look for the dipstick to check it, And I mean, I couldn't find it. And it turns out it's sort of camouflaged in here. There it is. So your guess is as good as mine. As good as mine. Is there any oil in this car? And that doesn't look like there is. Looks empty of oil too, which is not good. So, what do we do? I mean, we should really put oil in it, even just to check it, shouldn't we? I probably need to take these spark plugs out. And I think there's a tool on the bulkhead, which is supposedly particularly necessary for these. They look a little bit tricky. They're sitting on the back of the engine. And see how they look. But no oil. And the oil filter is even bruised. Strange. Let's put a little oil in it. So as I just feel our way into this job, I've sort of decided what I want to do is, rather than just put oil into it, is take whatever oil is in it, if any, out of it. And then put the bung in and put fresh, clean oil in it. And just be positive. So, the bung in these Sambas turns out to be something similar to that which is on a Citroen Saxo gearbox, which is a special tool which we have, which is the spindle, of a door handle, which opens your doors in your house. And what fits that is a 9mm spanner. So, with all this new technology on show, let's get this bung out, which doesn't seem to have any washer of any description, and the threads don't feel marvellous. See if anything comes out. Oh, that does not look good. So nothing come out, just a big fat blob. So that's not good. So I got a new washer for my sump bung. And even though we're highly optimistic, I sprayed all the bolts around the front of the chassis, and I suppose you call it the subframe bolts, with penetrating oil, just in case this perfect engine doesn't run. And we're going to use this, as I said, highly sophisticated sump bung tool to put the sump bung back in again. The threads did feel a little bit coarse. That looks like a little bit of silicone sealant or something in there too, which isn't very good. Doesn't fill me full of optimism, really. Some bungs closing in fine. With my spindle, 7mm or 9mm spanner, I think that'll do. We'll give it another wee nip. Click, click. That's it. I got a gallon of Vimax 10W50 oil. Not the right thing at all, but it was just the cheapest thing available. And as for testing it, no matter what oil we put in it, I suppose it would only be a short time. It had to be run out of it again, even if it is good. Well, there's my glasses. Don't need them. Slow coming out of this ton dish. I could be here all day with that rate of speed. I mean, could we not just pour that in without a ton dish, Melvin? I mean, a real mechanic would do it like that. Like, could we not just take that little filter out of that ton dish altogether? That should work. When I get down and get my Haynes manual, I'll actually have to check and see what is the correct oil for this and how much it actually takes. I suppose given that the gearbox is part of the engine, it's going to need a fair amount of oil. Maybe the scan will not look at it. Not only was there a filter on the tundish, there's a filter in the filler cap of the car as well. So that's it. I'm going to put the rest of this oil in. But the first thing I'm going to do before I put all the oil in is get the Haynes manual and clarify just how much oil this Samba 1360 GLS needs. So put the oil in. As it transpires, this engine takes 5 litres. So I put about 4.67 in, and that works out perfect. I mean, it's got exactly in it what it needs. I'm just looking at a hole in the bulkhead and thinking to myself, is there some sort of water pipe goes through there for a heater? Don't like the look of that. There. So now, what I'll show you what I'm going to do now. So that's that hole in the bulkhead, which you don't like the look of. But anyway, these are the leads for the spark plugs. The way this engine is now, I'm sort of thinking to myself, maybe there isn't even spark plugs in it. And I mean, this is the tool for taking them out. And I've heard it's not very good. And looking at the length of it, you know, there's a strong chance of losing a spark plug down there because it's cross-threaded or something. I put cable ties on all these leads to identify which ones is which is handy. Take a lot of cable ties if you had a V8, but I want to see how tricky it is to get a spark plug out of this car. I mean, I've never taken a spark plug out of one of these in my life. I've taken a spark plug out of an MG or something like that, but definitely not one of these. And they don't look just as simple as an MG. So as it happens, and has happened, my mic working? It seems to be. And is happening. This might not be such a big palaver as I thought. I've took number 2 off because that's the easiest one to get at. So we're going to see what this tells us. I mean, they say a spark plug can tell you a lot of things about an engine, but one that hasn't had oil in it for years and years and years, I don't know. I was thinking of actually putting some fluid down the bore. I haven't got a bore scope, which is like a camera that goes down the bore to have a look at what's going on in there. I think what I want to do is just so can you see that? Oops. There's like something in there. Don't know what it is. Looks like water. You nearly think that's water. And that's not good. So let's get them all out and see what it looks like. But the good thing is that there is a spark plug in it. That's one good thing. The other good thing is it doesn't look terribly bad. Another good thing was it definitely wasn't cross-threaded, but there is water on it. Given the fact that there's no water in this engine, I'm thinking to myself, how on earth is there water in it? Maybe it's oil from me putting the oil in. It did spill a little bit. But let's get them out and see what it looks like. So that's it. The 4 spark plugs are out. So I intend to put a little drop of automatic transmission fluid down into the bores. Number 2 was easy to take out. The other 3 had to be turned right to the top with the spark plug removing tool. Just have a look at them here. This is in the order that they came out. This being number 1. Number 1 was very tricky, probably the hardest one to get out, and number 4. Number 2 was, I say, great. But I don't know whether this engine's seized or not. Hopefully not. I'll put some automatic transmission fluid down it and see where that takes us. So I'm going to have a little sheepish try at turning over the crank. And see, is there any movement in this engine? I mean, there's no spark plugs in it. And the little sheepish try tells me she's seized. That's not good. Nothing. Forget about sheepish then. What about less sheepish try? It's not looking good. So let's have a less than sheepish try, but a more brute force try. Now let's need that round a click. Now the light shining in my eyes, I can see nothing. I think I've turned it back to where it was. No, maybe not. So less sheepish try. Something's turning. But it's not the engine. It's the bolt. So I'm just tightening that bolt up. The looks of things. No, definitely nothing. Seized. I mean, that is the crankshaft, isn't it? So, not good news. Engine seized. So I thought I'd just connect the battery up and see what happens. I mean, if we have any lights in the dash, a lot of wires here just going nowhere. So who knows what the setup is here. So have we any lights in the dash? That'd be interesting to see. I think you don't want it to run away on me. So we do have lights in the dash. Weirdly. I mean, trying to start, but obviously can't start because the engine's seized. Wonder if I was to leave that automatic transmission fluid in it overnight, would it help? Put a bit of WD-40 down with it. I've seen people release engines before by doing that. So like, I don't think we've anything to lose. At the minute, we essentially have a lost engine. Alright. So, I've gone down and had my apple. I filled the bores with a mixture of, is that moving? It was just me moving the car. WD-40 and automatic transmission fluid. So I've got a less aggressive power on this ratchet on the crankshaft. And let's see if we're moving anything. Hello? That's moving. Surely that's good, isn't it? Is that not good? Like, that has taken all of 20 minutes and that's moving. Have we got hope for this engine? Glory to God, it looks like it. So, where are we at? Well, I'm not so sure that the engine was seized in the first place. This is why. When I put a bar in it, I was pulling it that way, which is what? Clockwise. And nothing was happening. So I thought to myself, since you've tightened that bolt up, maybe you should loosen it off, the crank bolt. So when I went to loosen it off, the engine actually moved freely, without a problem. But then hit hard on something. So I'm wondering to myself, like I'm no expert, I don't know much about engines. Is it possibly a valve stuck or something wrong there with the cylinder head? And given the fact that the cylinder head has to come off anyway, I mean, I think the next stage is to take this engine out. Now, I've never taken an engine out of a Talbot Samba. In fact, the only engine I've ever taken out, and that was with Luke's help, my son, was a Citroen Saxo. Many years ago with a friend of mine, Andy Cairns. We maybe took him, well, he maybe took an engine out of a Mini with me giving him a hand to lift it. So, can I take the engine out of this car? I don't see why not. I mean, I've plenty of encouragement and help from the guys on Facebook, which I'm very grateful for, in the Samba Club. And I can also reach out to William James, local lad, who knows a lot about these engines and these cars, if I run into any issues. And I've got the good old Haynes manual. So a wee bit disappointed. Optimism was a little bit misplaced. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great, sure, if this engine wasn't fried at all, if it was just a matter of not being bled properly or something like that. But there's something seriously wrong. I mean, you can pull the crank round easily and then it hits hard, then pull it the other way easily, then it hits hard again. So something seriously wrong there. And I think in order to move forward, I think we got to get the engine out. We got to get the cylinder head off and have a look and see what's going on with it. So that's where we're heading. So here we go. We take the engine out. I mean, I've read the Haynes manual. How hard can it be? It's not a Ferrari. But anyway, I'm going to start by removing the oil that I've just put into it. And then I'm going to put you on time lapse. And I'm going to take the engine out. Then I'm going to take the cylinder head off. And I think we'll be able to gauge yourselves better at that stage where we stand with this Talbot Samba. So I thought I had you in time lapse there, but I didn't. I mustn't have pushed the button. So what did I do? Well, I drained all the oil back out of the engine and gearbox into its 5-gallon can that it come with, and I've just was dropping the engine down there, and I've decided just to park this car for now and concentrate on the blue one, because the blue one runs. This one doesn't run. This one definitely needs the engine out, and I have the blue one stripped in a lot of ways in order to paint it and tidy it up. It was completely covered in surface rust. So what I've decided to do is park this red one just alongside it here and bring the blue one in and start to put it back together again. And I mean, I've got this one to look at the copy. I mean, I don't want to get to the position where if two cars stripped and none of them's any good. I've 2 GLSs, and although I really like this car, it's definitely going to be an engine out job, which I'm going to do, but I'm not going to do it right now for the reasons I've just mentioned. So down she comes off the lift. I'll manoeuvre in beside me here, and I'll get the blue one in. I don't know if this car started. I mean, it's been a long time from it was started. And whenever it was running, it would run fine for maybe a mile, and then it would just stop. No knowing what was wrong with it. We think it was carburetor. There's the start. So no go. No go. It could be there's no fuel in it. But another pushing session. Thankfully they're not hard to push. Whenever I was a kid, I had a Samba, and I was pushing it with the door open like this. You can't really see it where the camera is, but I'll turn you around. I was pushing it with the door open like this. I was only 17, and I didn't see a gate post here. I bent the door right back and put a kink in it here. That was a disappointing day for me. So therefore I closed the door. It was a wise decision pulling this car in to work on it. I know this car looks rubbish right now, but I believe this car is going to look outstanding before I'm finished on it with it. I mean, I really like the colour of this car. There's the boss on. They have the red one sitting there for reference, and to work on this blue one. We know the engine's good in this blue one, and we know the engine's bad in the red one. As I said before, I don't want to get to the stage where if this one's stripped and this one's stripped and finish up with 2 cars in bits and nobody can put them back together again. I mean, when I resprayed this car, I've done it myself. It's the first time I resprayed a car, and right now it looks like rubbish, but I believe it'll look good by the time I'm finished. I believe this will be a lovely, sporty GLS Samba. I'm quite excited to complete it now that I've got it in here in particular. I'm quite excited. Not going to do any more today. Going to relax a little bit and figure out how I'm going to start going about the restoration, completion of the Blue Samba. I mean, I think this is going to be a cool car. But proof is in the pudding, so let's get the pudding baked or cooked or whatever. Well, it's a new day, a new morning, down here in planet Earth. I've had time to sleep on what we're going to do with these cars and the two Sambas, which is, for me, the vision is two Sambas in 2 months. I mean, as I said, I've owned these cars for years and years. They were dream cars for me to get because I had one whenever I was 17, 18. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this blue one today. Now, in relation to the red one, which is just sitting here, which I'm using for a reference in this to rebuild this car up, I checked two engines that I have out in the farm, and both of those are 1360 engines. One is in a convertible that came with that car, which was weird to me. Like, I mean, if you had a car with 11,000 miles, why would you invest in another car to as a donor for the engine? And the convertible like has 105,000 miles on it. You know, 10 times nearly what this is on it. So why would you not just fix this car? So I thought my pure neglect was the reason that this car had seized by not really turning it over or doing anything with it. In fact, when I got it, all I done was put it in the shade, put a couple of stickers on it, got some wheels off William James, which I need to pay him for still, and never tried to do anything with the engine essentially because I knew that it needed a cylinder head sorted out, and my guess was that I would get somebody to do that with a lot more, you know, ability and you know, wisdom than I had in relation to these cars. But it just sat there and sat there and sat there and nothing happened. And I decided yesterday to pull it out and check the engine out from what I can do. And it was hard. And I mean, it's hitting hard. But when I pushed it the other way, anti-clockwise, the engine rotated freely without any problem. But then it hit hard again. And took it back again, hits hard again. So it's hitting hard on something. So I don't know whether that's a valve or something like that. I firmly believe that that engine came here like that. I don't think it was my neglect. And the fact that all the oil was drained out of it, I would say that engine certainly is going to need stripped and probably completely rebuilt. Hitting hard, could that be a valve it's hitting? I don't know. And if it's hit a valve, then does that mean it has bent con rods, damaged pistons? It's certainly going to need to be stripped down and checked out. So for now, I'm going to use this car to get it completely rebuilt so that we've got something to go by whenever I go to build this one. So we need to clean these bumpers and stuff up. I have a brand new bumper here, which come with that red car. That red car come with tons of parts. And this is the old bumper, which is a slight bit of damage on it. It's cracked and broken at the bottom. And this bumper is brand new. That's the back bumper. So I'll potentially clean the back bumper up and fit it. Rebuild the car back up again. Of the parts sitting here for it. And I'm going to get started to that.
quite happy with the progress so far. Samba's coming together really nicely. Figuring out where the wires go on the lights and the thermostat, or whatever controls the fan on the radiator, what wires goes to the radiator and stuff. It was very handy having a car sitting beside me that's already got the wires in. I mean, it's not perfect wiring wise, but what seems to be not plugged in this car is plugged in on this red car, which you can't see beside me, but believe me, there's a red car here that I'm using for reference. Started to fit the bumper. I had an awful trouble. Spent half the day rolling around trying to find these cage nuts. Couldn't find any. Eventually got two, and it was just enough to get me the bumper fitted. I mean, I talked to a mechanic. He said I'll just weld the flange nut onto the back of the bumper bracket, and that sounds really straightforward, and that's the way to go. However, when you put the cage nut into the bumper bracket, there's a little bit of play in the bumper so that you can get the bolts in through the wings and the stays on the side here. And if you haven't got that play, you'll never get them in. I mean, you have to keep the bumper bracket loose till you get them in, then tighten everything up. And the holes that you go through into the bumper bracket from the body are really, really tight. I mean, I started off thinking this is a brand new bumper. Brand new, never fitted on a car. I was really blessed to get it with the GLS, red GLS, when I bought it. That man had a whole car full of parts that come with that car. He just was picking things up on eBay for years, and he must have had the notion he was going to keep it forever, and said I better get these parts all gathered up because I'm going to need them. And then he lost heart on it. Essentially, whatever happened to the engine at 11,000 miles, I don't know. Sounds strange, but anyway, started off fitting the bumper, landed on the ground thinking it was going to be easy. Wasn't easy. Then I put it up in the air without taking the wheels off and thought, well, this is going to be easy. It wasn't easy. So you had to put it up in the air and take the wheels off. And when I put it up in the air, took the wheels off, it was a lot easier. I mean, I didn't make it easy. If I knew what to do and the procedure to do it, it would have been so much easier. I tightened the bumper brackets up, and then I couldn't get the bolts into the two wings, through the two wings into the bumper. I mean, if you do it again, it'll be easy. But when you haven't done it before, and you don't know what you're doing, I suppose that was my problem. So I'm going to continue building it up. I mean, I spent a lot of time yesterday making spotlight brackets out of stainless steel. However, I think that's a bit of a rabbit trail right now. What I want to do is get both cars to a complete stage where they're complete. Even if not running, they're together and complete. So I'm going to aim at that, and then I can work at codology, things like CBs and stuff like that. So that's it. So I'm very happy to have the front of the car built up again. I mean, I did take a video of it, but the problem with the video was I didn't have it in time lapse. Unless you want to watch me doing the very same thing you've already watched me doing here on time lapse, again, I'll just delete that video because there was nothing exciting about it. One thing I have learned is put your indicator in first, your indicator back in lens, and whatever wiring belongs to the indicator. Because if you don't do that, it's more difficult. And then put the headlight in. If the grill's pretty good in here, I need to put some more rubber grommets where it goes down into the body of the car. But I'm going to fit my spotlights, something like this, a big one up here and a little one down here. I mean, how cool is that going to be? So that's the plan. I have sort of made spotlight brackets out of stainless steel and give them a coat of black satin paint. But I made a decision this morning when I woke up. I wasn't going to mess about with them anymore at this stage. I want to get this car put back together so that I've got a complete car. So I do have more work to do at the grille. Clean it probably would be one of the good things to do. It's very faded looking. So now to the back of the car. So that's me ready to offer up this bumper. I robbed the captive cage nuts from the damaged old front bumper to let me away here at the back. I haven't got the correct, I'll actually maybe put everything pretty well greased up. I'll maybe put a bit of grease in those inside nuts there before start. And I made this bracket because the old one had to be cut off. So, interesting to see how this goes. Haven't got the correct bolts to bolt in here. However, what I've got will do for now. I've put that much grease on them, I can't see the hole. I mean, my bolts aren't ideal, so if anybody has the proper bolts for this, I'd be grateful for some. Now I'm going to have some fun with the easy part, putting the bolts in from the inside. So I'll put you on time lapse just in case. So that's the back bumper on. I mean, my bolts are not amazing, and again the bumper's not in amazing condition, but it's completely bolted on and good and secure. So it's another little tricky hurdle completed. These lights are the easiest thing you ever fitted. You just hook them in this side, and this 10mm bolt goes through the other side, and you tighten a 10mm nut on them. Tremendous design, and then you just plug the electrics in. That'd be that way around, wouldn't it? So it is a lovely car to rebuild. I've been sort of nervous about putting it back together, but it is really nice to work at. So it's just as simple as that. This has been sitting about so long, this car. I mean, probably one of the things that is holding me back as well from finishing this car off is sort of like a fear, will you ever get it back together again? But it has come together. Really nice. I actually took the other lens off again and cleaned all this brake work and put a little spot of
contact cleaner in there to give the lights every chance every chance. Great system, this. Very impressed. When I think of the old Land Rovers that I worked at, how rusty they were in here. Like, this car is as old as a Series 3 Land Rover. It's 1982, this car. Look how well those lights go in, those bulbs. And it's been lying about for a long, long time. No corrosion in here whatsoever. Like, I'm just putting some contract cleaner in here because I've got it really, and I'm cleaning around it. But when I think, well, like, what was it? In 1982, was the Metro out, or were we still in the Mini? I mean, you probably could have bought a brand new Morris Ital or an Allegro. I think Ford maybe had the Mark III Escort out, and the Fiesta was a good car, obviously. So it had very stiff competition. It wasn't a breeze, like. But I think these cars are underrated, just how good they were. I mean, when I think the way I was driving back in 1983, when I had my 1.1 litre Talbot Samba, it was nuts. You know, driving too fast and doing things that you shouldn't do. When I look back at it now, I tell you what, some of the things I done driving them days, I wouldn't do it now for a lot of money. And I was doing it them days for fun. It was nuts. But I tell you what, the Samba was a tremendous handling car. Like, I wouldn't like to do a lot of the things that I done in, for example, an Austrian Allegro, or a Marina or something, or Morris Ital, or a Princess. And like, I really like those cars. But when I look back at how this Samba looked after, not this Samba, but the one I had, looked after me, it was a tremendous car. Like, I can remember, there was a kid up the road, and his dad owned a wealthy business. And for him as a 18-year-old kid, his dad bought him a Mark II Escort, which was, everybody wanted a Mark II Escort, really. Maybe not me so much. I don't know why. I just maybe wasn't as clued in as other kids were. But the going car that people were aspiring to have was a Mark II Escort. I mean, they had a rally pedigree, and there was so much variation in engines. I mean, you could get a Mark II Escort with a 1.1 litre engine and a 2 litre engine. Obviously, the RS 2000 being the daddy of them all. But I can remember a kid being, his daddy buying him a real cool Mark II Escort. Not only a cool Mark II Escort, it had a souped up engine in it. And me and him done a race around the country roads. And I could keep up with him in a 1.1 litre Talbot Samba. And I firmly believe the Samba was a safer car to drive, with it being front wheel drive, and certainly cornered well. And the suspension was cool. I mean, it wasn't a race prepared suspension by any means. It was a bit rolly, but it held the road really, really well. So that's me reminiscing about my Talbot Samba, and just really taking into consideration, given the fact it's a 1982 car, how good they were. When I was talking about driving cars back in the early 80s, that I liked the Allegro and I liked the Morris Marina, I really liked the Princess, I liked the Natal, I liked the Mini, I liked the Ford Escort, although They were a bit out of reach at the time. I even liked the Skoda Super Estelle LSE. I thought that was super cool. And I've went on why I like that. And I heard myself saying to myself, I suppose you're maybe asking the question yourself, is there any cars that you really aren't fond of or didn't particularly like back in the day? Or even, classic cars. So I asked myself that question, and for some strange reason there is two cars that I really didn't like and have never warmed to them. And I don't particularly know why. Well, I think I know why, because of one of them. But I never liked an Austin Farina. Don't know why. Just didn't like the shape of it. Didn't like the look of it. I mean, it didn't, and still doesn't, for some reason, make me say, oh, I'd like one of them. I mean, I like a Hillman Imp, but I just don't like a Farina. I mean, I like is it the 1300 in particular? The 1300 GT. But a Farina, for some reason, I didn't like it. And the other car that I really didn't like, and still don't like, and I blame my parents for this probably, is a Mini Estate Woody. I mean, there was a Mini Estate that had wood, something like the Mars Minor Traveller, I think they call it. There's a Mini that had wood on it, and I never liked them. I think when I was a little boy, I can remember my parents saying to me, you know, if you're not good, see that car there? And it was a Mini Woody. They'll come and take you away on that. I think they were winding me up or something, and some sort of a joke. And I can even remember, I believe it was in Hilltown near the Mourne Mountains, because we got an ice cream and stuff. We were out for a day for a drive, and maybe we were saying, as kids do, are we there yet? Maybe we were going to the coast or going up the mountains, and any drive for a kid over 15 minutes, and when you're only 4 or 5 years old, is, are you there yet? And I suppose they were trying to keep me quiet, and that has stuck out in my mind all these years. I never liked a Mini Estate, wooden sides, wooden railings. I don't know what's called, a Woody or what it's called, but for some reason, them two cars that I know now, that I can recall now, that I just didn't like for no particular reason other than the Mini one. So, starting to get this good Samba into a position where I like the look of it really well. I think the blue colour does look good on it. And the CB's projectors look absolutely cool. Don't know if I'm entirely happy with the brackets. I mean, they're stainless steel. They're not going to fall off anytime soon. But they could do with being a bit less wobbly, I suppose. So, it gives me the look I want. It gives me a vision of where I wanted to go with this car in relation to the front of it anyway. Now for the wheels, and finish the lock at the back. And I believe we'll be sitting then with two complete GLS Sambas instead of one complete, not running, and another sort of running, but not complete. So the vision is to have two Talbot Sambas in 2 months, and we're getting there. I'm pretty excited as to the plan of how this is going to look. So what do you think? Blue or red? I know this car doesn't look great. It's not clean. I mean, the paintwork needs compounded a bit and stuff, and there's still bits of stuff around you've cleaned them and the splashed around, the wipers isn't on it. But I'm going to leave that video there. So this is the two Sambas in 2 months, and really excited to get them rolling and out to the shows. I mean, there's going to be a bit of work at it, but they're two tremendous shells, and if we can get them mechanically where they should be, and I mean, these are, for all intents and purposes, if they're maintained and looked after, a
pretty robust engine and gearbox. So looking forward to getting it to a place where it can be manageable and enjoying driving these two cars. The good thing about these cars is they're classic insurance, so they're not that expensive to insure, and they're tax and MOT exempt. I mean, it saves a lot of faffing about and expense for a classic car that it has got to the stage where it's exempt. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it interesting, and hope you're enjoying my vision for my two GLS Sambas. Thank you for watching.